Yeah, it's very tight.
Yeah. So come over here, Ben. So last I was here, I was making these slides for the throttle and the mixture control, and that's working really well. We're running engines in our booth. It's been going good, but we've got a little problem. And I thought it might be an issue. We've got these two large servos here. They're model aeroplane servos. You see them there, Ben?
Yep.
Okay. This one here controls the mixture control. It's no issue at all because the mixture on the TBI is very easy to rotate. Don't even bother looking at it. It's hard to see it, but it's right in here. You can see it there. The mixture control is very lightly, there's no load on the mixture control, so that servo does a good job here. But back here, this servo here is driving the throttle slide plate, and there's a bit of friction on the TBI, the Rotec throttle bodies. It's pretty normal for a slide carburetor, not as lightly loaded as a butterfly. And so as a result, plus also this nasty bend here, I don't want to cut this special cable, probably not ideal. It's struggling, this servo is really struggling, all right? It's working, but it could be better. So come with me, I'll show you what we're doing to fix that. We've got these, little wiper motors. I got a couple of them from the salvage yard, and I've wired one up to an amplifier, and we'll use it as a big servo. You see it here. So you come in a bit closer. It's not often I impress myself, but I've really impressed myself here. This is fantastic. Now what I've got here is a H-bridge, amplifier, H-bridge, DC, a 12 volt car battery, right? This is just a regular servo tester, but it could just as easily be an RC receiver. I'm powering that with just a 6 volt pack made out of some batteries, AA batteries. Now here, this is interesting. This is the interior of a servo, an original servo. Just a model aeroplane servo. And I've taken the potentiometer wires and I've put them on the back of this pot here, which is actually out of the same servo. It's a giant servo, similar to the ones that were on the test stand before. So I've mounted that pot, and what I've done, as you can see in there, I've just made a bracket and I've just drilled it straight through into the back of the gear on this Wurman wheel of this wiper motor, and I've actually just pressed it in, Loctite it in, and glued it in position. It takes nothing to turn it, so it's not going to go anywhere. And of course this is a windshield wiper motor, and what's basically happening is the signal from the servo driver or the RC receiver is still going to the circuit board of the servo, model aeroplane servo, but then rather than those two wires which were originally driving the small servo motor, I'm sending them, I've cut them and I've extended them and run them through to the H-bridge, which is now amplifying that signal from the 12 volt supply and then sending it back to this motor. Now the encoder here, you see, the encoder is still feeding the original servo, the original model aeroplane servo circuit board. So it's giving its feedback to here. But of course this is all, it's now driving this. It still thinks it's driving the small servo, but it's being tricked into driving this, and the feedback is still coming back to the original board. So this encoder or potentiometer still thinks it's attached to the original motor. So it's giving me my arm position. Anyway, look at, and of course what we've got here now is a super high torque servo. This is a Wurman drive here at great reduction, Wurman wheel. So you can imagine how much torque this has got. It'd rip your fingers off. Look at this. And it's fully proportional. I can slow it down, speed it up, position it wherever I want, and of course it's driving that pop around the back there, see? And you can see that the board's changing polarity as I pull out of it. Probably a bit so glare, yeah. Yeah, it's going from red to green. I'm back on the motor here. But how good's that? And the beauty with this servo tester is you can put it into like different modes. This is manual mode I'm in now, so I can go from just control it manually, which is how I'm actually going to control the throttle on the test stand. Or you can go to centering mode, and that's centered, or you can go to cycling mode where it just cycles through left and right continuously by itself. You can see don't have to get in too close, stay back. That's it. And it's just going to do that forever. And of course this is being fed from a 12 volt battery. So there you go. That's a a giant servo made out of a wiper motor. And we go back to manual mode. Look at that. Beautiful. Imagine what you could do with that. You could steer a full-size car or aeroplane. You could do whatever you wanted with that. Buggy. Flaps. Trims. Whatever you want. All right. That's it.